Ladies and gentlemen, now in today's video, we're going to be taking the 6-star rank 2 Havok out for a little bit of a spin, and I absolutely love Havok. He is just such a solid banging champion that is so versatile and also has lots of uses that you wouldn't think he would be really good for at first, but when you play the champion, he can just get around so many matchups, man. Honestly, one of my favorite champions of last year. However, I wanted to start off by showing an interaction that I showed off during the live stream last week, and this is on a certain path in 6.4 with energy adoption lightning. So basically, whenever you make contact with the opponent, there's a 50% chance you're going to get a shock, and also Havok's energy resistance gives him about a 50% mitigation to energy damage. So the shock is already quite small, but he makes it even smaller, but then converts it just very, very rapidly into plasma and just spam detonates the opponent. So it's just a crazy interaction on this node, but I wanted to start off the video with it, man, because I absolutely love it. It's so awesome, this one. So you can see we've already got a shock, and look at the plasma charges building up. But now if we go in for a cheeky little, additional combo, we've got 4, 5, and look at those detonates, mate. Look at just the friggin' amount of damage going on here, boys. This man's just getting nuked down. And this is a massively stacked up Act 6 version of Electro. Just nuking himself. And we are barely taking, much damage, considering as well we're doing this content unboosted. And this is 6.4 stuff. Let's go for a little cheeky little special to end that fight. But yeah, it's a very, very fun interaction, man. Oh, it just makes this path really enjoyable to do with Havok, and a few health potions here and there. So, we took down a massive Electro, took about 20% of our health, but let's crack on with this hood matchup here. And again, if you are going for progression, boosters are as well very helpful for this path. Any scenario where there's like a tiny little shot going on, like EMP mod nodes, you see them quite often actually in the monthly event quest, and they tend to pop up in all sorts of places. And anywhere there's an EMP mod node, even if it's a passive shock, the interaction is exactly the same. However, EMP mod does hit a little bit harder, but again, Havok does have like a 50% resistance to energy. Kind of tested it out on shock nodes before that deal like 100% of his health when he's fully healed up, and he's only taken like 50%. So at least to the best of my knowledge, it is a 50% mitigation. Let's fire off the SB3. That might be enough damage to get this man down. We've got 10 plasma, he's got 5. Yeah, there we go. That's one thing I love about Havok as well, man. That special 3 is just solid, reliable damage. There's no RNG involved in it, because when you play a champion like Sunspot, there's a lot of RNG riding on that special 2. Like, if it crits, you're going to deal about 4 to 5 times the damage in comparison to if you get, no crits. So you are really rolling the dice of Sunspot, but Havok, he's all reliable, mate. And the special 3, damage as well, just being that special 3 damage is really good for getting around a lot of characters like Iron Man Infinity War, and also Thing. Those are some really good matchups I found for Havok, like playing Alliance War. Honestly, playing Alliance War, taking those middle, because everybody tends to chuck Iron Man in the middle, man, and I always bring Havok if I have to take some of those bosses down, because sometimes just people leave them up, mate. But look at this, man, look at this. Plasma detonates for days, boys. Spamming like 5k damage. It's a happy life, lads. It's a happy life. And there we go, another heavy attack. And there's also all these additional ticks from the heavy attack debuff as well, which deals damage based on the amount of plasma that your opponent does have. But, yeah, he's just crazy good for that energy adoption lightning path. However, I want to go into some slightly more, tricky matchups now, and showcase Havok, obviously, when we don't have the cheats. So I wanted to go for Act 6 Chapter 4 and go into the Hydra Adaptoid chapter and showcase one additional use for Havok, which is kind of countering healing. Because one of the great things about Havok is his synergy with the Despair Mastery. because most of the time you have so many debuffs on the opponent. When you're ramping Havok up, you have a lot of plasma, and your goal is to get about, 4 to 8 plasma, and just spam those heavy attacks while you build up to the special 3, and then get as close as you can to 10 plasma on you and 10 plasma on the opponent, fire off that special 3 and win. So we've got Lionheart here, so we don't want to reverse the healing. That's perfect because Havok can't do that unless you have the heal reversal and stun, I think, mastery active. But we've also got Arc Overload and Mirror Image, so basically there's just Arc Overload that we need to deal with here. Let's go for it, mate. See, that regeneration is something like super crazy, but it is a little bit annoying. It's about 1,000 per second there. We want to fire off that SP1 as quickly as we can. And the goal after this special one is to get some heavy attacks, just to control the plasma. Again, you want to be in control of the plasma, and the higher Sig Havok you have, the more difficult this actually is to do. But I'm somewhat fortunate in the fact that my 6-star is much lower Sig than my 5-star, so I'm used to him actually gaining plasma even faster. Also, pro tip, when the opponent's against the corner, you can go for multiple heavies as well. And also, every heavy attack does give you a prowess buff for the special 3. So then you essentially, from here on out, want to line up when you think you can nuke the opponent down using your special 3. And once you got 5, it's not going to consume any of the stacks on you. So that brings her to 7. We want to wait for probably one more plasma build from our passive. Actually go for a full one now if you want to. There we go. So we fire off the special 3. And that's probably going to be a lot of overkill, man. You actually have 2 separate damage components. You got the special 3 itself, and then the detonation damage. But yeah, that was a lot of overkill, man. But yeah, just a nice, swift little fight against a 6.4 X23 there. And now if we trot on over, Darkhawk, oddly, is a matchup I've had a lot of success against using Havocs. Just because you can block the special 1, and it gives you a lot of, what is it? Yeah, a lot of additional plasma if you do block it. So I think we just want to race to the special 3 here. I fought some Darkhawks in Alliance War using Havok, and it's gone surprisingly well at times. So I don't know if we want to use a special 1 to start off with. Right, can we block it? SP1. Okay, so let's have a look at the charge gain here. I feel like if I throw a special 1, it's going to be a bit too much. So I think we just spam heavy, get him to special 1. I know this might seem a bit of a weird tactic at the moment. Trust me, lads. I know what I'm doing for the lineup here. Right, come on, fella. Let's get a special 1 out, yeah. Right, nice. Kind of need a bit more plasma on this man, so my heavy attack deals even more damage. Kind of worried if we... think our special 1, is it going to be too much? There we go, look at that. Okay, now we're at 10. So we want to wait for this to tick a little bit. And there we go, special 3. So he's at 79%. We do have class disadvantage in this matchup. Again, no boosters at all. But we fire that off, and that man goes down to 55%. Detonation gets him to 34%. So yeah, it's a pretty effective strategy for getting Darkhawks down. Again, this is a beefy... Axe 6 one. Maybe I should have thrown a special 1 at the start to race up the plasma a little bit more. But here we go. Look at this. This is definitely the rotation we want to be in. Getting him having a decent amount of plasma, so we can just spam heavy. go again. Alright, and he might detonate that one, but then we go up to a few more. Then we can finish it off with a special 3. So a little bit of overkill there. But you can see Havok, he might not be like the best Darkhawk counter in the game, but he can get the job done. And sometimes that is what you need. Darkhawk is still one of the worst champions in this entire game to fight, at least in my opinion. So yeah, I think he's a valuable asset if you do need an alternate option. Works for Darkhawk. He also works for Iron Man Infinity War very, very well. So yeah, there's just a lot of matchups that you might not really expect Havok to work well for, that I just always find he can get through. So that's one of the things I just love about this champion, and one of the reasons that I wanted him at rank 2 is because I always find myself using my my 5-star one for all sorts of little bits and bobs when it does come to Alliance Quest, Alliance War. And a 6-star one, although his plasma gain is a little bit slower because of low sig, he's still got higher base stats and also that adrenaline mechanic as well. Right, to generate some more plasma, and I've thrown these heavy attacks too quick apparently. Yeah, he's going to be at SP1 there. It's just when I get on a chain throwing those heavy attacks, I just can't stop. I think I'm so used to playing the 5-star version, who again generates the plasma much faster. Because of the high sig, you've got a chance every time you gain 1 plasma to gain a second one. So I've just got very aggressive Havok playing habits from that lad. Right, okay, now all we need to do is wait for the next round of plasma to be applied, and I think that should be enough. This man's on 44%. We don't have class disadvantage. We're below 50% as well, so yeah. Look at that, mate. That's fine, yeah. Solid detonation there to finish it off. Oh, that damage is silly. I love it, mate. I absolutely love it. Let's move on to the Angela matchup next. And we're a little bit on the ropes at the moment, but we're still getting it done. He's still clearing this path. And again, no boosters, boys. No health potions just yet. Have taken down some tricky matches. If you can find good opportunities as well to heavy counter with Havok, it's always a plus. I find his heavy, though, for a lot of heavy countering scenarios, doesn't really have the reach that you might want it to. I think I'm throwing that heavy a bit too early. I need to wait for my opponent to get some more plasma charges, just so we don't lose out on the damage. So yeah, apologies that this isn't the most swish Havok gameplay in the world, but we're doing okay, mate. Doing okay. He does lunge a fair bit forward, though, once you do get on them. Angela does have an armor up buff in that first phase, so we need to make sure, I think for detonation safety, that when we do fire off that special 3, she's above 1 bar of power. Okay, now we're at 5 prowess, so we are not going to get too wrecked. And one great thing about Havok as well, bonus fact, this man has some pretty good block proficiency. Nothing like amazing, but just like kind of the baseline stats that you want a champion to have, to not get absolutely dunked on by every Act 6 opponent with ridiculous attack. So you can see he's done like a lot of parries, man. He's still in the game. So let's fire off that special 3, get the detonation as well. Oh no, where did she get an armor up from? Oh no, it's the friggin' Arc Overload, wasn't it? Gosh, that pesky Arc Overload. So that is one weakness of Havok, as you may know. You can use armor up champions to counter him, but when playing against champions or scenarios that have armor, you need to be careful. I played around a special one, but yeah, I didn't play around the regeneration and armor from the node. But there we go. Angela is dead, lads. In the bin, sorted, gone, dusted there. And I think I actually really want to try this Gladiator Hulk matchup. So let's top Havok up a little bit here. We're certainly not going to go for the full heal. But Hulk Ragnarok, I think this is going to be a bit of a fun time. Let's go. I've got a few health potions here from practicing in the old Realm of Legends. A little bit more. That was really just a little bit more. Right, 300k Hulk Ragnarok. It is go time, lads. Let's take this man down. This can also, arguably in the right scenario, be a really good matchup for Havok, because you can take this one a little bit slower, and Hulk Ragnarok, if you quell that crowd excitement and don't let him hit 100, then, yeah, it's not too bad sometimes. But here we might have trouble getting off all the heavies you want to. Doing okay so far. Right, I've just got to look out for those smash attacks. So you can see he's triggered the regeneration there, but we've actually managed to bypass it. It's on 44%. We might be able to get him down. Come on, Havok. Let's see that burst, fella. Come on. There we go. 14% detonation in Assassins. There we go. 41k detonation. Get in the bin, mate. Well, yeah, that was a really, really sick matchup. Now, just to end today's video, I want to go against two more opponents in Act 6, Chapter 3, just to show, again, some more uses for Havok. He honestly just works for so many unexpected fights, but I think he's a really, really good Mephisto counter as well, because Havok is immune to Incinerate, so he's just awesome for dealing with Mephisto. Let's take on this Massacre matchup first. See if we can smack this man down to size. But also, Havok is, he's a champion that can do a little bit of work in Realm of Legends, but he's not really like a, Realm of Legends character. I think he works much better for a lot of scenarios outside Realm of Legends where, you know, you can kind of build it up to KO with a special 3. Whereas Realm of Legends is slightly outside of that loop without boosters. So I'll just stick to some of the Act 6 gameplay today, and I think it does a fantastic job showing kind of practically like how useful this champion is. Got him at God Tier on the tier list. I think for some people, man, hands of the right player, people who really like Havok, this champion's arguably beyond God Tier. It depends how much you enjoy this character, really. Like, Havok has been a staple for me in a lot of modes of gameplay for ages. So yeah, I love him, mate. I love him. This Massacre matchup is going to be absolute. Could we just go for it? Should we just send it? Let's get one more stack. There we go. 52%. We got the perfect bonus there. Might be enough. We're sending it hard. 21%. Not quite. Okay, I need to dodge this. And then intercept. It wasn't too far off. We just needed to wait a second or two more. But that special 3, honestly, is one of the most just satisfying special buttons to push in the entire game. Maybe the most satisfying ultimate. Just because, you know, as soon as you press it, once you've got everything lined up and you've had to work a little bit to line it up, it's just, oh, it's great, man. It's great. Just, it's such a nice feeling. But anyway, Mephisto is a really good, yeah, matchup for Havok, man. Works out nicely. You can see, just basking in this Incinerate aura, taking no damage. But the downside is we didn't get any charges from it. You can bait out the special 2 if you want. It's always a good idea to be a bit safe with the power on Mephisto. This man can go crazy quite quick. Got 3 stacks of power gain. was probably the start that we wanted there. Oh, I could have gone for another cheeky heavy there, man. Let's dodge this mad lad right here. Now, Mephisto's a bit of a weird one to fight, because you have to keep in mind that he has his immunity, and you can't get past that, like, I think it's like 30% phase, so usually I go for a special 2 in this matchup, just to get my charges down a little bit. Kind of waste that power, and then on a Mephisto like this, we should be, once we get past his cheat death, back at another special 2, special 3. So that's how I've often found as a pretty good way to take Mephisto down. But it's really up to you, man. You can hold on to that special 3 if you want to. Just want to throw a special 2 for a bit of fun there. Let's make him go down a tad faster. Could have maybe got a few more plasma charges before we did throw that special 2. So here's his regeneration now, and after this, I need a couple more stacks. Do we need a couple more stacks? I think that we should be good, actually. Go in, nail that perfect damage bonus, and that should be Mephisto down. Yeah, there we go. Plenty of overkill. So a smooth matchup, man. Barely got dented there. But, lads, I'm chuffed to pieces, man. I absolutely love Havok. This guy, a very versatile machine for all sorts of AQ, AW stuff. And if you get this guy, again, he doesn't really need to be awakened to be a banging champion. But the signature ability kind of does help ramp him up a little bit faster for more kind of aggressive playstyles. So, yeah, I love Havok, man. He's a banging champion. And if you want to join the Havok fan club, you can do today for free, lads. All you need to do is smash that like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. So thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.